All right, guys. Black belt collector with the big one today. Easily my most anticipated figure, really, of the whole year, ever, really. I mean, ever since I started collecting, Darkseid has been a huge hole in the collection. So finally got one. He looks amazing. Darkseid, classic version. Huge box. Can't even get this thing on the frame all the way. Yeah. Let's rip this guy out of the packaging and take a closer look. Finally. All right, here he is out of the packaging. Wasn't too bad to get him out of there. Some of them are really hard to release from the packaging. I didn't even realize, I haven't watched any reviews or anything. I didn't even realize that he had a cloth cape until I started opening him. I didn't even notice that in the packaging. That's amazing. Awesome. Love it. I love that he's doing the cloth capes now. I think that is such a good thing. We could just get rid of the pins, it's really the last big sticking point. Yeah, I mean, man, this guy is awesome. So two heads, really, really cool if you want just a menacing looking passive Darkseid on the shelf, or if you want him with sort of a powered effect. I mean, I will probably display him like this just because I just think that's awesome. I love the emblem connecting to the cape there. I moved it around just a little bit. Yeah, man, you can get this thing in some pretty cool poses. So right off the bat, see like a little bit of scuffing right here. Looks like this will be pretty easy to mark, if you're not careful. And whenever I was moving him around, one of his legs popped off and one of his arms popped off. It definitely seems, it was this one. I bet it just comes, yeah. It definitely seems like this was maybe supposed to be a Build-A-Figure, I would think. Kind of weird, but it pops right back in there. So not a huge deal. And then when I was moving the legs around just a little bit, this one popped off, but it popped right back in there. Honestly, you're not going to get him into really crazy poses without probably popping those legs off. And the knees are very stiff. So just keep that in mind. Of course, be careful. You don't want to break them right out of the packaging. But just like this, like he looks awesome. So he comes with a fist and a pointing finger, which is pretty funny. That's kind of a Darkseid thing. And does come with a card. Always like when we get the cards. Put this in a little sleeve. I keep all these in a binder. Darkseid. Yeah, I mean, this is it really is the big bad of the DC universe. He is like the biggest threat generally. Would consider him, kind of like a Justice League villain. But honestly, just anytime there's a threat, Darkseid's usually not too far away. So there's so many Elseworlds tales with Darkseid that are so cool, and what made me really love the character. Looks like so double knees, of course the ankles. They're just the right amount of stiff. They're not loose like he's gonna fall. I can't even get the toe to articulate. There it goes. I mean, I don't usually mess with the toes anyway. I don't know. Let me know in the comments, I guess. Do you ever even articulate the toes? I mean, who really benefits from that? Just Spider-Man? I don't know. Yeah, so he feels a little stiff, but I'm used to that. McFarlane's figures are basically just statues on my shelf. I mean, once I pose them up, I don't really move them around too much. But I'm sure people better than me can get him in some really cool poses. I'm going to pop this hand off. Oh, yeah, it pops right off. So we can put the finger. All right. Come on now. Man, that's no joke. See if I can get his arm back. Geez, so you can hear how stiff it is. I mean, that is the head. I love that it's on like a ball, but it has all that space in there, so the head gets a lot of movement. Really cool. Oh, see there goes the arm. I knew that would happen at some point in this video, so just be careful when you're moving them around. I mean, all I'm trying to do is bend his elbow back again, and it does not want to bend. I mean, it's almost like it's caught right here. I mean, man, once I bent it, maybe turn it a little bit. Look at this. Oh, man, that's crazy. Yeah, so not a huge fan of. Oh, see there goes that arm. That's the first time that one's actually happened. It's because I was pushing on it so hard to get the other one in place. This pops right in, but yeah, they're going to pop out a lot if you're trying to move them around. So you're pretty much going to get them in a pose and have to stick them like that. So yeah, I'm going to grab a few figures and we'll do just a little comparison. I mean, he's so big. I don't know. I can't even get all these on the frame. Like if I show his feet, then his head's out of the frame. If you get his head, then you're not seeing his feet. I can try to manipulate my little area here a little bit. You could see there's not much movement here at the waist. Not much at all. You don't really want to mess with them too much. Bend this a little bit. And he feels pretty solid right there. The cape, it does seem to be like, it's like it wants to flare outward like that. It really wants to do that and not like lay flat. So it stems from right here. We just have to kind of maybe bunch it up a little bit here and here. Yeah, really cool. I'm still relatively new at playing around with the posable capes. So glad he's doing that though. Looks awesome. Maybe we can bring this back here. Something like that. Crunch it up that way. Yeah, a lot you can do there. It kind of just went back to the default pose again. But yeah, man, as far as the way he looks, super happy with this. Just be careful moving him around because you saw how easy it is to pop the stuff off. Let me grab a few figures and we'll do a little comparison. All right, so can't really get those guys on the frame where I normally do the video, so we're going to go freehand over here to the actual shelves. The first other big bad that I think of when I think of Darkseid, the next one I think of is probably Necron. And so I was really curious how they would stand up together. And yeah, I don't think Darkseid should be as tall as Necron. Maybe that looks pretty good. I think Necron is always drawn like really, really tall. So definitely clashing styles there with the classic, just kind of boring blue and white, and then the Necron, which is dark and so sculpted. And yeah, love that figure right there. And then of course Swamp Thing just happens to be there next to my Swamp Thing Absolutes. One of the biggest figures in the whole collection, Swamp Thing. And then if I'm just gonna grab him and move him up a shelf here, because I actually, the only other Darkseid figure I've ever had really is the Batman Darkseid, the Build-A-Figure, which I really like. I like this figure. I think that's cool. Of course, I'm a huge Batman freak. But man, look at that ugly plastic cape. You could see the cloth cape just makes such a huge difference. And then I just threw this guy right here because this is one of my favorite Build-A-Figures. And of course, you know, Ares and Batman mix, I guess. And you could say it's, yeah, Ares is one of the big bads. Not like Darkseid, I guess, but yeah, man, I could pull so many figures down, but those give you a pretty good idea how his size. And got a bit of a Justice League shelf right here. So yeah, I could just keep showing you guys my whole collection. I'm sure somebody likes that. But every time I come in here and I look at my final crisis on the Darkseid staring at me. So if you've never read Final Crisis, definitely read it. It's the first thing I think of when I think of Darkseid. Yeah, so be careful messing with his arms and legs. But yeah, really love the figure. Happy to have it. Finally pre-ordered it at like 3 different places until finally I was able to get it from Amazon. So yeah, hopefully good luck if you're still looking for yours. And yeah, see you on the next one.